Hi, I'm Adam Long, and in this video we're going to give you an introduction into the IRATA Training, Assessment and Certification Scheme, which came out on August the 1st. The changes in the document have been led entirely by the IRATA membership. We consulted as widely as possible throughout the process. We've expanded the guidance for the topics that we're teaching, so it's clearer exactly what is required, and hopefully that'll reduce some of the variation that's crept in worldwide. We've also restructured the document into different sections so that the guidance is clearly aimed at different audiences. In the final section of the document are administration requirements for trainer member companies, guidance for assessors, and the requirements of the new instructor scheme. This supersedes the old trainer qualification, which was really just a badge of experience. It's important to note that this isn't a training manual as such. What we're looking to do is give requirements for the IRATA syllabus and not push anyone into a certain way of doing things. If people want to use different equipment, then that's fine.
The video will be looking at the practical parts of the tax. We're currently compiling a list of frequently asked questions. These will be provided regularly via a technical newsletter issued by IRATA. So if you need any more information on the tax, then you can contact me through IRATA's website.
For an overview of the whole syllabus, you can refer to pages 17 and 18 of the document. Each syllabus item in section 6 is split into two sections. Firstly, there's an overview explaining what we mean by each topic heading. Following that are assessment requirements and guidance, which is split into paragraphs, giving the requirements for each level, levels 1, 2 and 3, and any additional guidance for the trainers and the assessors. One of the small and simple changes to the syllabus is the removal of overhand knots at level 1. This is a knot with a fairly niche use. It only really ever gets used on cow's tails. Some training centres don't even use cow's tails, they're using adjustable lanyards. Other centres might teach figure of eights. So that doesn't mean that IRATA have banned the overhand knot, it just won't be required at assessment.
Okay, so a new item here is the introduction to a vertical fall arrest system. So all candidates are going to demonstrate climbing a vertical fall arrest system, whether it's a permanent system like this or a temporary system. This is potentially a safer method of access and egress compared to using twin-tailed fall arrest lanyards. One of the main reasons for introducing it into the syllabus. And then for level 2 and 3 candidates, they're going to demonstrate rescuing a casualty from a vertical fall arrest system. This technique can be compared in a fairly similar fashion to an A-climb rescue also.
One change to the level 1 syllabus is the basic rescue requirements. Previously, level 1s used to have to rescue off separate ropes, as we are here, and also off the same rope as the casualty. The same rope rescue is gone. Now we only assess the rescue on separate ropes. There's a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, you shouldn't really be considering level 1s as an option for rescue normally on site. You should have a better rescue plan. But there are situations where maybe you've got a lot of level 1s working very close together, and they might be best placed to carry out a quick rescue. Second reason is if we've got rescues on the same set of ropes, that involves putting one technician above another on the same rope. That can have complications if things go wrong. It's something that level 1s don't do. It's something we shouldn't be doing as normal practice. So for that reason, we're just doing it on separate ropes.
For this particular exercise, we're going to take a casualty from one set of ropes and transfer onto a new set of ropes. The idea of this exercise is not to rescue mid-transfer. Perhaps what we will be doing here is to avoid a hazard by transferring or get to an egress point.
One of the other clarifications we've made is the size of small versus large rebelays. So we've said a small rebelay is anything less than 1.5 meters offset. This is about exactly 1.5 meters offset, so I can reach it with a little swing, and a large rebelay would be anything bigger. Now, getting past it depends, to be honest, as much on how far below the anchor points you are and the angle that you're trying to swing as it does the distance, but this is a pretty good guide. So for a small rebelay in descent, normal practice would be to use the short cow's tail, swing in, clip the short cow's tail to the anchor point. Any bigger than this, and that gets quite difficult, especially for level ones. So once we're into a large rebelay, we would treat that as a rope-to-rope transfer, needing 4 points of contact. That would be a level 2 manoeuvre. So to recap, level 1's passing a smaller rebelay, level 2's passing a wider rebelay than this, and also level 2 rescuing through a small rebelay. Level 3's have got to deal with anything, so rescue through a wide rebelay as well.
Okay then, so here we look at passing a large re-anchor. Now for this particular exercise it's taught at level 2. Now the main reason it being taught at level 2 is mainly because of the distance being greater than 1.5 meters. You need additional equipment, and this particular exercise can be quite complicated to pass. An exhausted level 1, for example, may descend into the bottom of the actual re-anchor, get themselves stuck, and it's going to be a difficult exercise to get out of. So here we'll look at deviations. So here we have a typical deviation setup, known in the tax now as a single anchor deviation. For this particular setup, the equipment need not be PPE, as failure of this system should not result in failure of your rope access system or any part of it. It is purely for positional purposes.
So this is an example of a very simple double deviation. It's not changing the path of the ropes by any great distance, but what it might be doing is protecting them from touching a hot pipe or a very sharp edge. So if we keep it simple when I'm passing it, clip a long cow's tail into the anchor point. Now both of these deviations are connected to both anchor points. It's full rigging, just as it would be if we were rigging a set of ropes or rebelay. And then I can move both deviations past and then take my cow's tail off. So a new topic at all levels is rigging to rescue. At level 1, it's simply operating a simple lowering rig like this. At level 2 we'd be rigging something like this. At level 3 would be rigging a more complex 3-dimensional rescue exercise. Simply by rigging on a descender on a backup like this, or on 2 descenders, means that I can lower a casualty off very easily without having to perform a rescue where I have to get on the ropes and get myself in a position of danger as well. One of the questions we get asked is, do I need to be equalising the loads always on my anchor points as we do in normal practice in rigging? Well, if you're working on anchors that meet the standard of the ICOP, so these anchors have been pull tested, we've checked the minimum strength, failure of these anchors isn't really a consideration. So unless you need to position using a Y-hang, you don't need to be always equalising your anchor points. So for a simple lower, all I need to do is check my backups okay to run, control the rope with one hand, operate the descender with the other hand. Down the casualty goes. So a very simple exercise, and the other thing you can do here is give your level 1s an awareness of hauling, which is another requirement of the syllabus. So we can show them that it's very easy to switch a hauling system, a lowering system, sorry, from going down to going up. All I need is a hand jammer and a pulley. I can easily switch to a lowering system into a hauling system. At level 3 then, the rig to rescue exercise has replaced this old requirement, which was breaking into the tight line, your casualties hanging on and using them to haul him up. Now, historically, this was quite a good test of a level 3 skill, but it's a very poor choice of method of rescue. If we're putting a technician in this situation, all it takes is a little bit of planning, a little bit of extra equipment. We can either use a bolt-on style hauling system with a jammer, or we can rig to rescue completely, as we looked at previously. For a final little example then, we're going to put a couple of things together. This is an example of a level 3 complex rig to rescue exercise, and we've included an example of a double deviation, what you could do with a fully protectional deviation. So all the ropes are rigged through pulleys leading back to the platform where they can be controlled. With this deviation, I don't have to pass it because that would be quite awkward in this position. I can get over the handrail, we can tension it up, and we can position me anywhere between our platform and the anchor points over there. And then I'm free to go up and down on these ropes as I like. If I need repositioning, I can speak to these guys. And then if I get into trouble, these guys can pull me straight out and back to the platform.
Okay, so thanks for watching. If you have any more questions about the tax, then you can contact me through IRATA's website, and you can expect to see frequently asked questions on IRATA's website, as well as a regular technical newsletter.